What's up guys, this is Tech Reviews 85 and today I'm going to be showing you guys the original PlayStation DualShock Controller. So here it is. I got the PS1 DualShock Controller. This was the very first PlayStation controller to feature the joysticks, as you can see. It was the first DualShock controller to come out. It's the successor to the original PlayStation controller, which did not have the joysticks. This was a significant improvement over the original controller. The fact that you had joysticks, you had like larger triggers here. They were a lot smaller on the original PlayStation controller. This controller was definitely a lot heavier. It had a more solid build and was definitely a lot heavier than the original PlayStation controller, mainly because it had the rumble function, which, you know, made the games feel more epic. And yeah, so not really much over the old controller except for you got the joysticks and larger triggers, as well as a rumble function. Yeah, so a big difference from this controller to the previous. However, not really a big difference between this and the DualShock 2 controller, which is for the PS2. Not much of a difference there. I've always really liked PlayStation controllers. I like the feel of them. You know, I like how they designed it. It's just what I've never liked about PlayStation controllers all that much is that I've always found the controls to be slightly too small. They've just been a little bit too small. It doesn't bother me that much, but yeah, PlayStation controllers always been my favorite. Here you got the analog button over there, which activates the joysticks, and that will light up red when the joysticks are activated. And this controller hasn't been used a lot. You can tell because of the joysticks, the texture on the joysticks. You know, it's still got that original surface on the joysticks. It's not flat. It's kind of like a rough surface, and you know, they're not loose. They're still very stiff. Yeah, and yeah, so standard PlayStation stuff: X, square, triangle, and circle. These are the exact same buttons that are being used on the PS4 controller. So that's been a long time. You got your D-pad. You know, this is standard D-pad, which continues on every PlayStation controller. It's from this controller to the DualShock 3 controller is basically hardly any difference. You know, the controller is still, you know, basically the same thing. Obviously, the new PlayStation 3 controllers were wireless, and you know, they featured motion and rumble, and yeah, I mean, they're basically the same thing. You know, there's not much of a difference except for the wireless capability. Here you had a cord to plug the controller into the PlayStation, but you know, that wasn't a big deal back then, because even it was only in 2006 when they started using wireless connectivity on controllers like the Xbox 360 and the PS3. And of course that has evolved into the Xbox One and the PS4, of course. But yeah, You know, really the same layout as all PlayStation controllers. The only difference is now the PlayStation 4 controller, which they finally changed the layout a bit. I think it's a huge improvement over the previous controllers. You know, it's slightly bigger. It feels great in the hands. I don't own one, but I've tried it in store, and yeah, definitely a big improvement there. So that's thumbs up. And yeah, so let me just get a PS3 controller. Here's a PlayStation 3 controller. This is a Sixaxis, not a DualShock 3. The DualShock 3s are slightly heavier because of the rumble function. There's not really much of a big difference. You know, exactly the same size, really, nearly the same thing, really, except a slightly different layout. Over here, you can see the PlayStation home button. Here, you just had an analog button. At the back, it's slightly different. It's not a huge difference, but you know, a slight difference. You got the triggers. Here they actually go in. You know, you can see there. Here they're just like buttons push, which some people prefer this, some people don't. So yeah, and you got your USB port to charge the controller, and here you just got the cord coming out of the controller. You got your LED 4. I think that is for 4 controllers. If you connect, it just shows you which, if you're using the first, second, third or fourth controller. I think that's what that is. Your Sixaxis logo. And yeah, the thing behind Sixaxis controllers on the PS3 is that it didn't have a rumble function. You know, they came up with this new thing called motion, which I have no idea what it is, but motion, and they could not put the rumble function in this controller, mainly because it would interfere with the motion technology inside the controller. So no idea what that is, but that is the reason why this controller is very light. And yeah, the batteries on these things will last slightly longer. Sorry about that. Back to what I was talking about. The batteries on these things will last slightly longer than the DualShock 3 controllers, just because they don't have the rumble function. Put that to the side. This is the end of the cord for the PS1. PlayStation 1 controllers work on the PlayStation 2s, however PS2 controllers don't work on the PS1s. So I'll just bring in my PS1. So here's the PS1, still working well after so many years, unlike the PS3 Fat or the Xbox 360 or last. Yeah, so no problems with this. It's been a great console. Let's pull out the memory card. These were the original PlayStation memory cards. I think they were 4 megabytes or something, possibly even less. You simply just plug it in, and as you can see, the cord isn't that long. They definitely improved this on the DualShock 2 controllers, having a slightly longer cord, because that really isn't all that long. But yeah, they improved it on the DualShock 2s with a longer cord, and definitely improved the controller significantly on the PS3 with wireless instead of using cords. And the good thing with the PS3 controllers is that they don't use batteries, unlike the Xbox 360. You know, it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. Eventually the PS3 battery will die out and it won't hold charge, while the Xbox 360s won't. Well, at the same time with the Xbox 360s, you have to spend money on batteries. So you know, it's like a two-sided thing. It's a positive and a negative. But yeah, that is the PlayStation 1 controller review. This controller is in great condition, hardly used. But yeah, anyway guys, that was my review on the PlayStation DualShock controller. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and yeah, be sure to check out other videos, and yeah, see you guys next time.